Hello everyone. I've been meaning to make this video blog post for some time, but it's been pretty busy and I haven't been able to get to it. This one is about off-leash training, advanced obedience training. A couple months ago, one of my clients who has a dog that's extremely reactive and rather large told me that whenever she sees one of our posts with a client tossing a leash, she thinks to herself that, oh no, there's one more dog that I have to avoid. There's something to be said about her concerns, because there are so many people out there who let their dogs off leash and the dog is completely untrained. We see it every day, the owner in the dog park, dog's off leash, the dog comes bolting over to your dog, who knows the intent, but they're running fast towards your dog, and the owner is 500 yards back or 100 yards back yelling, oh no, he's friendly, don't worry about it. And that is a concern, especially with somebody with a highly reactive dog. The things that we need to keep in mind as we go into the off-leash advanced training is, first, the advanced obedience training starts when you toss your leash. Your advanced obedience training is not completed when you toss your leash. It does not mean that your training is done. It just means that it signifies that you've got to the point where you can now start training without the leash and work on it, proof it until it becomes, 90%, 95% reliable. Things to remember when you let your dog off leash. The first and most important thing that you should remember when you let your dog off leash is that it is dangerous and it is a risk that you're taking on yourself once you unhook that leash. Anything that happens to that dog is your responsibility. Anything that happens to any person when your dog is off leash that your dog caused is your responsibility. Anything that happens to another dog that your dog caused while your dog is off leash is your responsibility. So, let's say you have a friendly, happy-go-lucky dog and you have him off leash at the park and your dog is right next to you, 5 feet away from you, and another person walks up with a dog that is extremely aggressive, right? And that dog gives body language to your dog. Your dog comes over to that dog and that dog bites your dog. In retaliation, your dog bites the person's dog as well. Your dog needs stitches, you bring your dog to the hospital. That person is within legal rights to also make you pay for their dog's medical expenses. That's something to keep in mind. Whenever we let our dogs off leash, we know that dogs are terrible at generalization, so every situation is difficult. As we're training our dogs to be off leash, we want to train in as many situations and as safely as possible, so that way if you drop your leash, your dog will still come back to you, whether it's on a country road, in a field, or on a city street. Your dog still knows. In order to do that, we have different programs that we do with training, and the further along you go, the more that I express these ideas and these programs to you, in order to make sure that your dog will respond to you in these situations as well. Whenever you let your dog off leash, be aware of your surroundings, all right? Be aware of anybody in the surroundings that looks nervous or afraid. Fearful people and nervous people bring out different reactions in dogs than confident people do. Also, if you know that the lady or the gentleman is afraid of dogs, you can see that they're terrified, it's the nice thing to do is just to put your dog back on leash. It's no big deal. You call your dog back to you, your dog comes back to you, you hook him on leash, the person's going to feel a lot better. If you see out in the horizon that there's somebody struggling with their dog and their dog looks out of control, their dog looks super excited, adrenalized state, the dog looks aggressive, the dog looks super shy. All these are reasons why you should put your dog back on leash. You don't know what the situation is going to be, and you will put the other person at ease and make the dog community appreciate you more if you're able to do that. Other things to be considered about is other environmental hazards. I had a client from my dog walking company who had a dog that just followed him around everywhere. It was kind of a little shy dog. He didn't really do training with the dog because the dog just followed him since day one. But at the same time, he felt it was comfortable. He felt it was okay for him to let his dog off leash in the South End. all right, of Boston in downtown in traffic. He had his dog off leash, and it was in the spring. The thaw was just starting, and some snow fell off off a building that was nearby him. His dog did fine with that. The lady behind him, however, she was a little nervous and she screamed. The dog reacted to her scream and jumped into traffic and ended up getting hit by a car. That was his fault. To tell you the truth, I can't even guarantee that Dee Dee, my dog, will not do the same thing if somebody suddenly screams behind her. So we practice. We practice more and more and try to not put ourselves in that position. I also, knowing this story, I also know that certain times of year, certain times of day, I make sure to have my dog on leash, even although she's really, really well trained, because anything can happen. All right. So that's things to consider. When you toss your leash, please come to the advanced group classes. Those are extremely important. It allows you to start to proof your dog around distractions inside an enclosed environment. But even after that, you want to practice with your dogs in safe places outdoors, off leash, and real practice. Where you're trying to get 100% your mental picture every single time. So that way, around distractions, your dog will respond to you at least 90% or 92% of your mental picture. All right? I hope this is helpful to all of you. Be aware when you're out there with your dog off leash. Look up, look around. If there's any situations that's questionable at all, put your dog immediately back on leash. Keep your community happy, keep your community safe. And that's it. Thank you guys. Have a great day. Keep practicing. Practice makes perfect. Practice not till you get it right, but until you can't get it wrong. All right. Have a great day. Bye.